So we start back Love and Marriage Huntsville. Same place we left last week, where Tiffany is kind of having these symptoms that are not clear if she's going into labor, if she's having any complications. So they get Kimmy, who is a nurse. Kimmy's like, I will check your blood pressure, make sure everything is good, but I don't have my cough, so I need you to go to the hospital or go somewhere where we could check it. She's like, oh, does my grandfather have his? Of course he doesn't have his. He came to a baby shower. Like, why would he be carrying his blood pressure cuff around? So they're like, should we call 911? She's adamantly saying no. And I get it, because those 911 emergency room, like, EMS bills, that ain't no joke. So I get it. She's probably looking like, do I really need 911 or can Louis drive me? So Louis ends up driving her. Then we see that Marsau has this big contract. It looks like he's on the highway. I don't know what the contract is, but it looks impressive from what we see at least. So he's like, he wants to capture it and probably put it on social media, show people and things that they're accomplishing so much, and it's a good thing. Then Tisha comes, Maurice comes. I guess it's gonna be some kind of legal part in their business. So they're trying to corner Maurice with this, not combat group, but the I don't know, the stuff they're trying to do, which is basically combat group type of initiative. And they're like, well, we're not trying to make money. It's not about money. But when Kimmy told you that you could get sponsorships, your ears perked up, and that was when you were like, it's ours versus you, versus the whole group. So you saying it's not about money, everything is fucking about money. That's why the combat group ain't working, because all y'all's egos is involved, money is involved, so it's gonna be hard. And it's unfortunate because I feel like you could do more together than individually, but it's never gonna happen because the relationships are super, a lot of relationships between the combat group are super toxic, so they ain't gonna work together. But let's see what this meeting brings out, because I saw Maurice going off in the previews. I'm like, why is he going off? He was the one that they talked to and tried to convince to, like, basically back them up in the meeting. That's what this little photo shoot movement was about. But we'll see, y'all. You see Mel meet up with her lawyer and they're discussing her changing her name, but she's still in a custody battle with Martell. So this is like earlier this year this was taped, or I think late last year. So the lawyer advises her, like, girl, you can't be changing your name while you're in the middle of a court case, like in the whole United States. It doesn't even matter where it is. So she's obviously upset by that, but it is what it is. She will still change. She will have an opportunity to change her name once custody is over. But they talk about the divorce proceedings or the custody battle and the basically all the things that the lawyers from his side were asking. They were asking for a password to social media. I was like, what? They were asking for all the people she's messed with since the divorce or since their separation. I'm like, what does he need that information for? It's just so weird. But she does admit that he stopped popping up in the house since her lawyer handled it. Then we go to Martell, who is trying to do a suit line, getting advice from Miguel Wilson. I think I've seen that guy on social media too, which is, I mean, what you don't know, you ask for help, right? Which is great. So they meet in one of these AC hotels, and the guy's giving him good advice. But what made me laugh was, like, when it was all over, the wife was hugging Martell. It was like the most treacherous hug. Like, her butt was all the way in the back. Like, boy, I don't want the spirit upon you to jump on me. But that made me laugh, though. It's Tiffany and Lou, and basically they're talking about the doctor's appointment, the advice the doctors gave her since the baby shower. She seems to be listening to it, but she's trying to plan a weekend getaway. And Lou is like, nigga, we just came out from the ER. Can you sit your happy ass down? But she's being cute. She can tell Lou really loves her, so she's being facetious, and I don't think she's being serious. But she brings up the conversation with Marsau and Martell. And Louis is like, Marsau is freaking Betty Crocker. He tries to mix himself in shit that don't even have to do with him. Like the conversation. And it's true, it had zero to do with Marsau. So him saying it happened at Black. Nigga, Black is a public place. What the hell? So people can't have conversations at Black no more? So it was just ridiculous that Marsau got in the conversation. But Lou obviously checked both of them, as he should as the husband. But he's coming back to her to be like, bitch, don't be putting me in mess. Like, can you just focus on this pregnancy and your health, for crying out loud? And Tiffany is being cheeky. She's smiling. She's like, I'm putting you in a mess. He's like, yes, when you say stuff that people did not ask you for. Then she's going on talking about, I was trying to give my expertise in blended family. And Lou asked her a pointed question. Did Mel ever call you to ask you for advice about blending families? He's like, exactly. So mind your business. Thank you. And at this point, she's like cutesy. And she's like, okay. I'm like, girl, you just want your husband to eat your ass. Bye. So Kimmy and Mel get to the meeting first. and they're like just kikiing. And apparently, the comeback book group LLC is still open because they still pay franchise tax per what Kimmy is saying. And she's like, Mel, you're the only one that wanted to dissolve it. And Mel's like, yeah, we had so many issues. And Kimmy does agree that they did have issues, but she said the rest of the group doesn't want to do it. Basically, the Black Expo Excellence that Tisha and Marsau want to do, she's like, it's basically comeback, so we could do it on the comeback, so that way it's all there. They're not bringing in any new ideas, is what the vibe is given. But I am just like, yeah, it is what it is. But the interesting part is Mel got a man. And that arm looked good. And I was like, ooh, nice and chocolate. I can't wait for her to expose who that guy is, because I am ready to see Mel dating, because I know Martell is going to die. Like, so the guys come in. I don't know where Letitia is, because this is their meeting and they're apparently late. Everybody's exchanges pleasantries. Martell exchanges pleasantries, but he wants to touch Mel. And Mel doesn't put her hand out to shake his nasty hand. And he's like, that's childish. I'm like, respect her boundaries. Why is it so hard for him to respect her boundaries? I don't want to touch you. You're not my friend. Leave me the hell alone. Like, easy peasy. Easy peasy. Like, what the hell? But he does not want to respect her boundaries, and that's the problem. So Tisha comes in foaming at the mouth. You could tell she had this speech prepared coming for Mel, because basically Mel is the idea woman. Pay the woman for her time. It is going to be worth it. Mel's followers are huge. Mel is an orator. Tisha sounded stupid even making this statement. Like, she's not someone that, she might know things, but she doesn't sound intelligent speaking them, right? Those are two different things. Some people are very gifted at presentations, right? Even Martell recognizes, says Mel, this is what Mel does for a living. Like, she talks to people. She's a public speaker. But coming in talking about nobody's going to get paid in this room. So you're willing to pay other speakers or other people to be part of this, but you don't want to pay the people that originated the comeback group. And she even references the comeback group. So I'm like, make it make sense. Kimmy with the facts. Kimmy is like, I think she was like the main person that like kept the books, because she's the one paying taxes on this damn group that doesn't even exist. She's like, we got originated in 2016. She's pointing out different facts, and even Marsau acknowledges that Kimmy is right. And Martell is like, why are you saying nobody here should get paid? Can you explain that? There's no real explanation. Marsau is like, I think if you want to get paid from this, you're greedy. Nigga, y'all are gonna make money from this. Are you not greedy? And he's talking about, well, if we make the money from this, we'll keep it. If you have an endeavor in the future, we could donate to that. That is stupid business practice. Nobody's gonna say yes to that, because I don't have a right to your money. You pledging it doesn't mean you're gonna do it. Ask Amber Heard. She pledged money to different company, different things, and she didn't even fulfill them. You could pledge money and not fulfill it, and that's not illegal. So it's crazy. Like, she really has no excuse for not wanting to pay them. And I'm happy Mel didn't even send her half fees, because obviously this is a joke. They probably just want to see what Mel gets paid so they could start calculating Mel's money. And Mel's like, I ain't got time for this. So we'll see what she's about to say, because she is not making sense. And the hostility is like coming in hot. Like, everybody's like, what is going on? Even Kimmy is like, Tisha came in 10 toes down saying this, and this. And I'm like, why is Tisha being like this heavy-handed on her speech? Her and Marsau have discussed it. Let them do it. Since they don't need anybody's help. Why are you even having this meeting if you don't want to pay them? You're wasting my time, basically. So, obviously, it explodes at the end. Tisha and Marsau are trying to make their point, calling people greedy, being really belligerent. At this point, Maurice is yelling too. Kimmy is making her point, saying this is a combat group event, that she's not even asking for money. She's just asking them to call it what it is. And if it is a combat group event, all 6 people are going to get paid. But they're putting it under new management, which is fine. And she makes a point, because they're Marsau and Tisha trying to be holier than thou, talking about it's not about the money. But she's like, it's a Black Expo with a Q, basically his bar, right? So this is about advertisement, it's about money. So don't come here and try to be self-righteous, telling us, oh, I won't touch the money for my own personal thing. It's going to be for donate. Then open a freaking charity. And even if you open a charity, you're still going to eat the money. So it's like, shut up. But what killed me is Mel laughing. Mel is looking like, all right, I ain't the problem, but I'm going to watch this shit burn. And Marsau is like, oh, anything in the combat group goes to hell. And Kimmy's like, you're the worst part of the combat group. You're the most dysfunctional. So next week looks like it's gonna be lit because Stormy's mom and I think her auntie are like getting into it, and it's a whole ghetto mess. And I'm just like, oh Lord. Then it looks like Mel is gonna talk about this guy because her and Nell go to a pole dancing class, and I'm just like, I cannot wait to see it. So y'all, let me know what you thought about this episode. Bye.